Scenario is this: I'm out hiking with my friends. Somehow I got separated from the rest of the group. Um, I could have taken a different path or wanted to take a shortcut and expected to see him right around the bend, only that bend never happened. I know there's been plenty of videos on this, but this is just my experience with it, and you get to follow along. So I'm going way out there. It's a very, very steep drop from here. Probably won't get a lot of footage of it because I'm going to be trying to get somewhere quick. Right now, time I have is 6:10. I got roughly an hour and a half, if I'm lucky, of real daylight. Alright, I made it through the thick brush coming through here. That is straight up, let me tell you. Get as far as I can tonight before I need to start looking for wood and prepping myself for the evening frigid cold. Probably guessing around 40 tonight, which isn't extremely cold, but without sleeping gear or anything else, it could get pretty chilly, I imagine. So, enough talking, time to start walking. One thing we have a lot of in California is poison oak. And this stuff is growing everywhere where I'm at right now. You can always tell poison oak by the shiny leaf, and occasionally as it gets older you'll start to see the red leaves. They turn like this pretty much. This whole plant will look like this about midsummer. Poison oak is I guess in comparison with poison ivy, I've never experienced poison ivy. I haven't really experienced poison oak because I'm not allergic to poison oak, fortunately for me, because it's all over in here. So far, the trip down the hill here is quite interesting, to say the least. It's almost straight down, lots of rocks, lots of deadfall, and tons of manzanita. I'm trying not to get ticks all over me. They like manzanita and this thick brush, so that's why I'm kind of staying bundled up right now. If you haven't been able to tell by now, I'm just getting over the flu, and I'm probably about 80% today, but hopefully tomorrow will be better. So I'm gonna keep on trekking. I'm gonna go as long as I feel I can go before I need to start gathering wood, and by the looks of it I shouldn't have a problem finding anything to burn. So I have a goal in mind on where I want to stop. We'll call that my self-rescue plan. It's not really a self-rescue because there's nobody going to be there when I get there, but let's say I'm the guy trying to find his way out and find his buddies, and I think I know where I'm going. We'll go with that. So we'll see you here in a few minutes. Alright, so let's just say I got to where I thought everybody was supposed to be, and they're not here, and this doesn't even look like the place. So now my self-rescue has turned into a worse situation, or my situation has worsened, because now, instead of being closer to where I should have been, or where I was last seen, now I'm way out in the middle of nowhere. So my first choice here, or my first decision to make, is to what to do next. Well, obviously I told you guys earlier, I'm going to start with a fire, most likely. As you can see, I'm in the middle of a giant hill in the middle of the forest. So I'm going to keep trekking down and find myself a better location. Now I'm again making a mistake of continuing on, but my situation if I stay here is not good because there's nothing here. I'm out in the open, I'm totally exposed to the elements. In this situation, one of the first things you want to make sure you do is really take in what it is that you have for resources. For instance, I came out here intentionally with barely anything. We have my my knife by John Campbell. Give you a close-up view of that. John Campbell High Desert Survival School knife, made by Tops Knives. So I got my knife. So I've got a cutting edge. That's good. And let's see, what else do I got? In my bag, I got some Gatorade. This will be good for a while, but eventually I'll have to head down to the river here and get some water. And that's about it. And my camera gear. And aside from the survival situation, I did bring an Adventure Medical Kit's sleeping bivvy, emergency blanket type. I don't intend to use that over this next 48 hours of me being out here. I brought this just to make sure if for some reason something goes wrong, I have something. This I hope not to use. This video is for you guys, but it's also for me. I've been waiting a year to get out here and do this. So I'm out here to prove to myself I can do this. If I need this, then I honestly feel like I'm letting myself down. So my version of an ultimate survival bracelet, you'll see paracord ones around. This one, you'll see my other videos, has 25 feet of bank line. It has approximately 50 to 100 feet of fishing line. It has 5 to 7 feet, I believe, of snare wire. It's got paracord, I'm guessing in the 10 or 15 foot range. And inside the decorative portion here is waterproof matches. So my situation isn't really bad off if I think about it. If I use all of my resources, just this alone is going to do me well. I got my container. Chances are anybody out in this kind of situation is going to have a container with them, or maybe they shouldn't have went on their trip. And you know, my bag. And other than that, that's about it. One thing you want to keep in mind in a survival situation is to keep your eyes open for anything you might be able to use. Now, I don't expect to find much out here, but what I do find, I plan on using to my advantage while I'm out here. So, always be on the scout for anything you need. I have a bag here so I can carry stuff, so I might as well make good use of it. Mokulemne River, all the way at the bottom. Way up there is where I came from. But I still haven't found a place to hunker down, and it's starting to get dark, so I need to get busy. As you can see, the river is just jamming along here, and I think I might have passed up my spot, but I wanted to show you, whenever you pass anything like this is good fire starting material. I'm going to put that in my little cargo pocket here and get any in there. That, my cargo pocket, that's for starting a fire. So I think I'm going to head back to the spot I saw a few minutes ago. Had plenty of firewood. Anyway, I'll show you when I get there. As you can see, the sun's starting to go down, and I don't want to be hunting for everything in the dark. Alright, so this is my location. Got my little tinder bundle thing going here. Just going to clear myself out a spot. Everything's real green right here, so I need to find myself something to spark a match on. that. Good thing about my survival bracelet, I got waterproof matches inside. I could go through primitive fire making, but I've learned stuff in the 8 months that it took me to get prepared to do this trip. Now, I thought I was prepared in the beginning, but let me tell you, I wasn't really prepared. Now, this bracelet, I'm not going to save. I'm going to cut it apart, but I don't want to tear up too much of it because I want the cordage. If I get hungry enough, there's plenty of insects crawling around on the ground right here. I've seen a spider, seen some sort of beetle, seen a couple things, and all I'm mainly trying to do here is get, right now, the center decoration part out. And it's not really a whole lot of cordage at all, it's just mainly to hold the matches. There's one match in there. I'm going to leave the rest intact. And that's all the match I got. That's all you get. Now I could take a stick and I could hollow out the pith and shove the match head in there and essentially make myself a larger matchstick. But we'll see if I need it. I got 5 tries here, so it's going to be a cold night. That match is a dud. Try number 1 down the tube. There's one. My survival bracelet. Made it. It's important to always make sure you got all your little kindling and everything ready to go. A lot of the times, I think people try to get fire started and then they don't realize that they need wood for it. Getting a fire started doesn't do any good unless you got fuel for it once it's started. Well, as you can see, got my fire going pretty good. It's kind of scattered right now, but I elected to go with fire rather than shelter. My reasoning is, again, the sky is clear. It's going to be cold. It's not going to rain. It's not going to snow. It's going to do nothing but be very, very cold. Probably dew is about the most moisture I'm going to get, which is not great, but I wanted to make sure I had a fire. I've got all my firewood together. I'm all set pretty much for the night on firewood. Now I have a little bit of daylight left. I might try to figure out some sort of shelter, but I don't know what yet. So, be an interesting night. First night out, day 1. Alright guys, real quick, I'm going to run through an acronym I teach my children. It's called SAFE. There's 2 S's in this acronym, and SAFE stands for stop in any situation. As soon as you realize you're lost or you're in a survival situation, first thing you do is stop. Second thing, the second S in SAFE, is shelter, suitable shelter. You need to build a shelter or find a shelter that is suitable for the environment that you're in. I'm out here tonight, it's clear skies, I have a fire, there's no chance of rain. I'm not too concerned about a shelter. However, shelter and fire kind of go hand in hand. Fire is probably the most important survival tool you can have. So I went with fire over shelter. Now, that can be a good thing and that can be a bad thing. I'm pretty sure I'll be okay. The second, or the A in the word SAFE, or the acronym SAFE, is attain fire, which I've done. The F stands for fine water, fine fluid. You need water to survive. You have, approximately 3 days before you could have some serious catastrophic occurrences without water, or consequences. So water, very important. And then the E stands for eat. You can go a long time without eating. So far this has been a blast, other than it's kind of creepy. It's not like right across the street when I did my shelter in the rain video, which, mind you, I was out in the woods, but this is a little bit different. I'm pretty deep into the woods now here at this place, and I'm not going to be ashamed to say that the noises out here can give you the creeps. I thought a second ago a whole herd of friggin' bear were coming across the river. I don't know what it was. I made as much noise as I could. It would have been probably pretty funny to watch, but all part of the game, I guess. Hopefully I don't get eaten. If I do, I love everybody. And I'm sorry that I wanted to do this. I think I'll be okay though. Anyway, this fire is pretty hot and I'm pretty warm. Let's see if I can keep it that way all night. So it's about 5:45 in the morning. Made it through the night. Pretty cold, but every hour or so I had to wake up and fuel the fire here, and move the coals around and adjust. Sleeping on the sand wasn't too bad. Kind of like a Sealy posturepedic bed. Just gotta wiggle around a little bit, warms your body. Again, a little creeped out by some noises and stuff throughout the night. Just being so far away from anyone. Alright, so been working on unraveling my paracord survival bracelet, fishing line, bank line, all that good stuff. But I'm going to finish it up later, because right now I want to get going. I got to get moving, and I want to find a location. Hopefully I can find the water moving a little slower. So I've been trying to find my way across river, but it's just not happening. But I'm also trying to get in a location where I can radio my buddy who's going to be checking in with me at about noon. It's 8 o'clock now, and this is kind of a look at the terrain that I'm dealing with. Straight up and straight down. So it's like a jungle, I guess. I've never been in a jungle before, but I tell you, on this trip though, I've seen a lot of cool stuff that I never even knew was out here. But I don't know. I might call this trip short. I might not. Not quite sure yet. I
don't really need to. I'm a little bit hungry. There's some, well, you can't see them through the trees, but there's some geese over there. I think they're guarding their eggs. I could probably go over there and get them, but I'm going to have much more fun navigating this terrain instead. This is a lot harder than it looks, but it's starting to get a little easier. Straight freaking up. You know, I was halfway complaining when I was going down this thing on the other side of the mountain. Whew. I'm tired. There's a long ways down to the water. I can't even get a picture of it from here. Just to give you some perspective, this is level, and this is straight down to the water. And I'm guessing probably about, it's got to be at least 300 or 400 yards. And that was quite a workout. I'm still not quite to the top, but I'll be able to make radio contact, let my buddy know I'm okay, and still haven't decided if I'm going to stay another night or not. I'm sure everybody will think I pussed out or whatever, but unfortunately the water is way down in the canyon, and the only place for me to get contact, since I can't cross the river, is climbing up this mountain. And I only brought that little Gatorade bottle. And I'm not walking all the way down that mountain again to get water and then all the way back up that mountain again to get radio contact at 6 o'clock. Got one at noon and one at 6. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll just go fish with my wife and my daughter. Sounds fun too. I've pretty much gotten what I wanted to get out of this, and that was to prove to myself that I could go out with just my survival bracelet and a knife and stay overnight in a somewhat frigid climate, albeit pretty decent conditions. But if I had to stay out here, I know I could. It probably wouldn't be pleasant for a while until I figured out where all the animals are. I haven't seen a lot of animals. Some geese, one rabbit, and that's about it. So I'm gonna keep heading up the mountain, let you know what happens. The bad part also is my other camera is already cards full because I took a lot of pictures and video, and then this one's getting full too. I don't know if you can see it or not now that I'm at the top of that hill, but that brown house right in the middle above the big giant rock there is where I came from last night. Only I went down that way to the river, and then I walked all the way around this whole giant mountain and then up the steepest part I could possibly find, just for fun. So if it was easy to get to, this little green mountain right here would be the coolest place to take your girlfriend or wife or whatever on a picnic. I wish my wife could get there, but I don't think she's gonna do that one. Anyway, I'm just resting now because I worked my ass off getting up that hill. And I'll be back. Alright, just to give you an update. I don't know if I wasn't expecting what I encountered. all my research and everything else, I didn't research llamas. I don't know whether they're aggressive or not. And there happens to be an aggressive, or what appears to be an aggressive llama, where I need to go on top of that little knoll up there. I am making my way up to the house above that big rock via that knoll right there. So I have to go back down the mountain the other side and trail it around and try to get on the other side of the llama, which happens to be up in there somewhere. Like I said, never expected to find a llama out here. And I don't want to find out if he's aggressive, because he's a lot bigger than I am. So I'm going to take the long way, scenic route. I got time. Check-in isn't for another 3 hours. I need to be on that hill by then, at least. So, more hiking downhill and then more hiking back uphill. Back up the hill. Pretty incredible view though. Well, I successfully outflanked the killer llama. Well, you guys will think I'm crazy, but I don't know why there's a freaking llama out here, but there is a llama. And I'm in the safe zone now, so I can get, he's way down the hill now. But he followed me the whole way. I don't understand. He probably just thought I was gonna feed him or something, I don't know. Alright, some things I wanted to talk about real quick before I keep trekking up this mountain. Couple things that I learned on this trip. Actually, a lot of things I learned on this trip. One, learn more about llamas, because that's a lot of work. But anyways, more importantly, wild edibles. I don't know them well enough. I got these little blue things, or purple things, all over around here. And there's some like this, and there's some others I've got pictures of and video of and everything else. But it would be nice to know what's edible and what's not. I did a little bit of research on some stuff, but not enough to really amount to anything. And I'm always uncertain, so I don't want to eat anything. I haven't seen much in the name of wildlife out here, so I haven't really got to practice any of my trapping skills. I've seen coyote scat mostly, no deer, not much anything. But one thing I did learn is that I can endure a night without a sleeping bag, without a blanket, without anything pretty much except for a fire. Let me tell you, I got cozy with the fire though. I was wrapped around it as close as I could get without bursting into flames. But anyway, if you don't see any more because the camera's running out of battery and time, I'm going to head out today. I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. I wanted to stay out for 48 hours, but without radio contact, I just don't feel like it's safe. If I had all my gear, I would feel a whole lot better, but I don't want to push my luck. I made it my one night out here in the middle of nowhere, far, far away from anybody. So with that, I'll go ahead and call this a done deal, and if there's any left on the video camera here, I'll shoot some more on the way up the hill and maybe even get a picture of the killer llama. bastard's been chasing me all over the mountain. I think he's probably just friendly, but whatever. I'm not going to take a chance. But at this point, I am within reach of radio contact. I haven't actually made contact yet, but I'm hoping to beat my contact to the location, which is that house up there above the rock I showed you. So I'm just taking a breather because this hill's kicking my ass.